Good evening and welcome to the SunWest School Division public meeting. My name is Vicki Moore and I am the Director of Education for the Division. The SunWest School Division acknowledges that we are on Treaty 6 and Treaty 4 territories. This land that we share has long been home to the Cree, Saulteaux, Nakota, Lakota, Dakota's people, and the Métis. We who live on, learn from, and care for this land and water recognize the ancestors who have walked before us as well as the generations to come. We make this acknowledgement as an act of reconciliation to reaffirm our relationship to one another. We are committed to learning together. Bringing greetings this evening from the SunWest Board of Education is my pleasure to introduce Board Chair John Collins.
Good evening, everyone. We really appreciate you all taking the time out of your busy schedules to join us tonight. To the principals and SCC chairs that planned your SCC meetings for tonight, thank you. For the community members and SCC members and staff who chose to log on, thanks to you as well. We hope to share and provide you all with some great information. Quite a few years ago now, the government made it so we no longer had to have an annual meeting. There really was much relief as a board because our annual meetings were always not the best attended and a lot of work for our senior admin. However, we quickly realized that by not having an annual meeting, we lost the opportunity to connect with all of you. So in SunWest, we decided we would continue on with the public meeting as an opportunity to share the important work we are doing. It has taken on many forms, but I'm happy to see we are finding the right avenue with this online meeting in conjunction with SCC meetings. Tonight, we're going to give you a lot of information. It is likely unrealistic to think you will retain it all. However, I would encourage each of you to try and find something out of each topic that you can grab a hold of. Something you think is pretty neat that you want to share with someone next time at the post office. Something that you maybe don't quite understand and you need some clarification from your principal, your SCC chair, or your board member. Maybe it'll be something that rubs you the wrong way. We want to hear about those things as well. This is our chance to share some of the important work we are doing, but it's also your chance to ask us about it. Maybe you need to understand the why behind what we're doing, and maybe it's an encouraging word we need to hear after. We need to hear from you, both as the board, but also as SECs, schools, and division leadership. We need to hear what you're happy about and also what your concerns are. We can't get better if we don't know. We can't help out in situations if they aren't shared. We can't do more or spread the great things to other parts of the division if we don't know about them either. We are in this together, so thanks for joining us tonight, and hopefully you will find the information helpful. Have a great meeting.
Thank you very much, John. And thank you again to everyone for joining us this evening. As John mentioned, the SunWest School Division online public meeting came into existence several years ago, long before online meetings were really a thing. With a penchant for innovative uses of technology, our division transformed the annual stakeholder meeting, usually held in Rosetown, to an online format. The goal of this was to create an opportunity for more staff, parents, caregivers, and community members across our expansive school division to attend the yearly meeting. These meetings were meant to provide information about our division, share special initiatives and projects, and recognize and celebrate excellence across SunWest. In addition, school community councils throughout the division were asked to host their March meetings the same evening of the public meeting. SCCs were asked to invite parents and community members to attend both their local SCC meeting and view the streaming of the public meeting that evening. The hope was that this would open the door for rich conversations about student learning and well-being, occurring both at the division level and at the school level. And tonight, we're very pleased to be able to continue on with this tradition. And though we do fully understand that online meetings are not quite the novelty they used to be, we're still happy to be able to reach out to all of our school communities and SCCs. We hope that the meetings that are occurring in your schools are well attended by all the important partners in student learning, school, home, and community. We hope the information that we share this evening provides you with a deeper understanding and awareness of the work we have undertaken this year to meet the goals in the three priority areas of our education plan: achievement, engagement, and well-being. To begin this evening's program, I'm going to turn things over to our communications coordinator, Mike Feddick, for a very special presentation.
Hello everyone. We are part of the SunWest Student Leadership Group and we are excited to be part of the SunWest Public Meeting.
We are especially excited because after 3 long years, we are finally back live and in person. Woo!
The Student Leadership Program has 2 main components.
There's Team SunWest, which is responsible for organizing the SunWest Leadership Conference, which this year is taking place in Kindersley on April 27th.
And there's the Youth Consultation Team, which conducts research with our students and provides recommendations to our Board of Education. And our meeting this year will be on May 23rd.
We are here today to introduce a video that highlights success in the SunWest School Division.
Success in SunWest? How long is that video going to be? 100 hours?
I know, it'd be like a Netflix documentary. I mean, alone, there's hundreds of students that do sports. And with the teachers and the parent volunteers, that take forever. And there are some standout performances that need to be mentioned. Gold medals at provincials. Yeah! David Culp in provincial wrestling. Addison Dole at provincial track and field. And Dinsmore Senior Mixed Curling Team and the Beachy Lucky Lake School Boys Volleyball Team each awarded provincial sportsmanship banners.
That's classy.
So many great sports everywhere in SunWest. But success in SunWest means more than just sports.
Success in SunWest is limitless. There are so many achievements in so many different ways.
McKinley Johnson went to Ottawa and lobbied members of Parliament on diabetes research. Olivia Netzel created the Young Heroes Car Show and has raised $10,000 for the Children's Hospital.
Farrah Lowe also created a podcast, and it's the first student-run podcast in Saskatchewan.
Teams from SunWest coded and built robots and kicked serious.
Competed in the SAS Polytechnic Robot Rumble.
Outlook High School set the world record for the largest game of 4 corners ever.
Elrose Composite School student leadership team raised more than $13,000 for Telemiracle. Incredible.
PowerPlay Young Entrepreneurs, students who create and operate their own businesses, plus innovation days.
And we haven't even started to talk about the day-to-day dedication from our teachers and students.
It really speaks about the success of the Pebble philosophy.
Hold on there! School community councils. You're right. Hours of volunteer work to make our school better, we owe them big time.
With all this success, we're gonna have to binge watch this video.
Success for who? Success for all!
I thought I was empty in distress. Thought there was no use getting myself out of bed. I thought my heart, oh, was all but dead. But you're like Ringo Starr just tapping on my chest, and I can't seem to get you out of my head. Play me like your drum. Oh, that rhythm has begun. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're putting back a little boom, boom. You're putting back a little boom, boom in my heart. Yeah, yeah, yeah. You're putting back a little boom, boom. You're putting back a little boom, boom in my heart. With the beating of your snare, you're marching me off too. loves, but you brought them back to me one by one by one. Oh, behold my salvation. Oh, you're putting back a little boom boom.
You're bringing back a little boom boom to my heart.
Yeah, 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 you're putting back a little boom boom.
You're putting back a little boom boom in my heart.
Yeah, 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 you're putting back a little boom boom.
You're bringing back a little boom boom in my heart.
Yeah, 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 you're putting back a little boom boom.
You're bringing back a little boom boom in my heart.
You're putting back a little boom boom in my heart.
A big thank you to Mike Feddick for putting together that fantastic celebration. You know, it's just really nice to see and be reminded of all the really great things that have happened already in this school year. And thank you so much to the student leaders, the staff, and the trustees that participated in the video. You can't help but feel proud of everyone in our school division seeing something like that. So carrying on, as many of you know, the province is in the process of finalizing a provincial education plan that will carry us to 2030. Similarly, and in alignment with the province, our division is working on renewing our own education plan. Based on the thoughts and ideas you shared with us in a recent survey we asked you to complete, and work completed by the Board of Education and senior administrative team, our education plan will soon be updated to reflect current and ongoing needs in each of the 3 priority areas I've already mentioned. The first priority, achievement, focuses on improving students' knowledge, skills, and understanding of curricular outcomes. In SunWest, we work to enhance student achievement through improved programming, instructional practices, and assessment. Personalized goals are an essential feature of our achievement goals and speak to SunWest's overarching Pebble philosophy of meeting each learner where they are. Kelly Boklaschuk, Superintendent of Learning, is here this evening to speak to personalized goals in SunWest School Division.
Good evening, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm really pleased to be here this evening to talk about personalized goals with you. Really great to connect back with that video. We saw a lot of success for our students, and a way for us to get to success for all is really through the academic side of thinking about personalized goals and how we can really achieve our full potential. So this evening, I want to talk to you about personalized goal and really tell you what this is all about. So personalized goal is an individualized, data-driven goal with a specific target that will support the student to work towards individual achievement of expectations. PGs guide students from what they know to what they need to know to reach their full potential. So that's the definition. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into what that means. So the most important thing is why. And the most important why this evening to talk about is that personalized goals support an inclusive process to ensure success for all. So these are for everybody, no matter what they're learning in whatever class. And we do have a focus on a few particular areas that we're going to talk a little bit more tonight. But I'd like to start with why we want to write down personalized goals. So let's start with a short little video just to tell you how important it is to write down these goals.
Institute. Dr. Gail Matthews, a psychology professor at the Dominican University in California, recently studied the art and science of goal setting. Now, the study of this has gone on for many, many years, but her particular research showed, because she involved 267 people in a study, men, women from all over the world and from all walks of life, entrepreneurs, educators, healthcare professionals, artists, lawyers, bankers, and more. But by dividing the participants up into groups, with some of them writing down their goals and others not, she found that those who wrote down their goals accomplished significantly more of those goals than those who did not write down their goals. In fact, her findings were that you're actually 42% more likely to achieve your goals simply by writing them down. The likelihood that you'll achieve your goals goes up even further if you send your written goals to a friend or a partner in believing, someone who can believe with you, not tear you down and fill you full of doubt, but someone who can believe with you.
So that is the message that we want to bring to you this evening, that writing down goals gives you 42% more likelihood of achieving them, and sharing them gives you even more ability to achieve those goals.
Now, why?
So let's talk a little bit more about why we're doing personalized goals in SunWest. And Vicki earlier talked about the provincial education plan and as well as our SunWest education plan. So I just want to briefly take you through, where do these personalized goals come from? Why are we doing them within SunWest? So this graphic here just talks a little bit about the flow. So we start with the provincial education plan, and that informs what we need to do at the SunWest division level. That helps us develop our education plan, and it helps us achieve our vision of success for all. As we think about planning for that, we then think about our Pebble philosophy and our reorder culture. And all of this drives to our schools, where we look for success for all by developing school learning improvement plans and leadership roles within the schools. So let's talk a little bit more about personalized goals and how they fit into that model. So if we think about our current provincial education plan, we're guided in SunWest and all school divisions to be looking at proficiency of literacy. And so the focus is on reviewing grade 1 to 5 reading, providing intensive supports for students below grade level, and to implement highly effective instructional strategies for reading. How does this flow into SunWest? Well, we've developed goals specific to literacy, reading, writing, and math, where we talk about 100% of our students meeting or exceeding standards or achieving a personalized goal. So how does that translate to our schools and to our homes and communities? Well, the schools get to implement with students and families personalized goals within their schools to help students achieve grade level in reading, writing, and math, and to extend their learning. And we provide supports through collaborative learning cycles using data and parent engagement sessions. So who must have personalized goals, or who can have personalized goals? There's a little bit of a difference here, and we're growing towards everybody being able to have personalized goals. But currently, our goals say that these students must have personalized goals. So the students that are not achieving at or above grade level in reading, writing, or math, students with not enough credits, I suppose, to be on their plan for graduation, and of course, thinking about engagement in schools, and then our early years. So we're really trying to address 100% of our students. So students in grade 1 to 9, for instance, with reading, writing, and math, who achieve at a 1 or a 2, we're going to have personalized goals in place for them. Now, who can have PGs? Well, let's talk about extending or enriching learning. So the PG process is not only for subject areas listed in our goals. PGs are valuable for all students in all subjects. It's a great way for teachers to work together and collaborate and learn about each student, and for students to be able to talk to a variety of teachers about their goals. They are valuable for students to extend, take their learning further, or enrich their learning beyond grade level. So let's talk a little bit about what are personalized goals. So they're informed by data, they are very specific, they're monitored frequently, they have a timeline, and they identify specific strategies that will be used to help students achieve their goals. They include student voice and family voice, and they're targeted towards what the student needs most right now. They engage families and are communicated with student, family, and other staff working with the student. So let's talk a little bit about some personalized goal exemplars, focusing on reading, writing, and math. So I just wanted to give you a little bit of perspective here on some exemplars and what we're really looking for very specific goals. So if you see at a level 1 personalized goal, we're talking about a student who will be able to write a properly structured paragraph by the end of June. That's a very long goal and it's not very specific. So if we start thinking about different strategies, you can see at the level 2-3 here, we have some strategies. So strategies include planning the sentence orally before beginning to write, having an adult or peer scribe, rereading what is written before adding the next word. At a 3 and 4 level, you'll see it goes even further. It's very specific. It talks about how long the goal will take to achieve. It also talks about how the parents will be able to be involved with this. So it's really important, and it's really important for us to be as detailed and as possible about personalized goals and involve the student and the family with the development of these goals. So how do we do this? What is the process for teachers? Well, it follows a few steps. So first of all, we ask our teachers to learn about students and their needs. So we look at a variety of different pieces, including their learner profile and their data. Then we do what we call readiness assessments. And we look for where are students currently at so that we can help them get to the next step in their learning. Then we determine if a student is not meeting expectations for a subject. So that's something that we look at through data and those readiness assessments. And then we go forth to determine the broad area of difficulty. So for instance, a broad area might be reading. Reading might be one of the areas that we want to focus in on. So then we drill down to the root cause of the problem. And we focus on foundational skills and outcomes, something like fluency in reading. Then we decide what will most greatly benefit the student in this area for their future success. We examine and select which strategies would best help you and the student to improve in the area that we're talking about in our personalized goal. Then we write the personalized goal down. As we saw in the video, we're 42% more likely to achieve that goal by writing it down. And really important to involve the student and family if possible. So then we move to implementation of the plan. It's really important to monitor it frequently. So we write them down, we monitor them frequently, we add comments, and we readjust the plan if needed or set a new goal. So how can you engage in the PG process? Well, we've put together a video for you to watch, and I would encourage you to, at an SEC meeting, sit down and watch the video that I'll share with you shortly. But the other piece that you probably are familiar with is our reorder rubric. And so we've embedded how parents can get involved with personalized goal process right in our reorder rubric. So as you can see highlighted, at a level 4, parents provide input, understand, and support the achievement of personalized goals. That is true engagement. So really important to ask about personalized goals. Ask if the student's below grade level, at grade level, above grade level, how can they extend or enrich their learning? So, like I said, we have a parent's guide to understanding personalized goal. I have a QR code here if you want to scan it and watch it later. It's 13 minutes, but I would invite you to take the time to do that as an SEC. And feel free to reach out with any questions, comments, but most specifically reach out to teachers and administrators in your schools to find out how they're implementing the personalized goal process. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, Kelly. Our division has consistently championed new and better ways of helping students meet both learning outcomes and the many goals we have for higher levels of achievement. This year was the first of a 3-year special project designed to facilitate teacher collaboration to enhance personalized learning that is infused with key components required by the province and our division. Joining us this evening to speak about the Greater Lake Planning Initiative, or GAP as it is more commonly known, are Shannon Lipke, Sandra Lutz, Shauna George, and Jenna Lee Bang.
Hi, and good evening, and thank you so much for having us tonight. We are very excited to be joining and sharing the philosophy and purpose of GAP with all of you. I am Jenna Lee Bang, and with us here tonight we have Shauna George and Sandra Lutz, but unfortunately Shannon Lipke was unable to join.
Every pancake shown here represents an important piece of a student's education from K through 12. Here are just a few examples: fostering independence, building lifelong learners, 21st century competencies such as collaboration, as well as critical thinking and digital technologies, Indigenous perspectives, connections to community and culture and diversity. Most of these pancakes are not included as a part of the Saskatchewan curriculum, but we know they are crucial for each student to reach their full potential. The school division's aspiration is for students to build proficiency in each of these pancakes to support success for each unique learner.
To do this in the most effective and efficient way, we invite you as parents to imagine that instead of a stack of pancakes, each element is a possible ingredient for a smoothie. The teacher selects ingredients for their smoothie to best meet the diverse needs in their classroom. This is how SunWest School Division will be able to offer rich opportunities for all of our students, and this is the purpose of GAP: to gather and house these resources to be readily accessible for our teachers so that teachers are able to ensure our students are working towards mastery of all the ingredients in the smoothie.
GAP stands for Grade Alike Planning. Our team is made up of grades 4, 5, and 6 teachers from across SunWest, including new and veteran teachers, colony teachers, online teachers, multi-grade and single grade teachers, as well as small and large schools. We all bring different experiences and perspectives, which help support all the diverse needs of students across SunWest.
We don't want to reinvent the wheel. We want to celebrate and share all the great work teachers are already doing throughout our division, as well as gather excellent resources that have already been created by other organizations. The purpose of our GAP team has been to gather and then curate these resources that will be readily available to all teachers in grades 4 through 6. They may choose to use them as is or make changes to suit the students they are working with. But GAP content is the best of the best, developed by SunWest teachers and beyond.
This is an example of an outcome map listing the Saskatchewan curriculum outcomes to be covered in grade 4. The flower graphic is what teachers will use to access the resources we have gathered. In the coming years, teachers for grades 7, 8, and 9, and grades 1, 2, and 3 will also be working through the process of gathering these resources.
We would like you to hear from some of our teachers, our students, and parents about the benefits of GAP, including academic growth and parent engagement. So please enjoy these 2 videos. Mike, could you please play Conversations with Joelle and the PE final?
Hi, I'm Joelle Edwards. I'm a grade 5 teacher here in Davidson.
Hi, I'm Tristan Peterson. I'm a grade 5 student in Davidson.
Perfect. Okay. So Joelle, how has GAP impacted your students this year, do you think?
Well, definitely the best part of this experience has just been able to network with other teachers in the division and understand all the amazing things that they're already doing in their classrooms. Tested and true things that work for them and that they're willing to share with me to engage kids in their own learning. They've given me ideas of apps to use in my classroom that I've never heard about, stories that elicit really good conversations, projects that have really high engagement. Some of the things that I just never really had the time to explore if I wasn't given the gift of time this year, like for example, Egg in the Classroom was this awesome free resource that I'd heard about before, but I've never really been able to dig in. And so we tried it this year in the classroom, and I've never had so much student engagement with a health project. And usually in the past, I've just, when we get to our healthy eating unit, I print off the Canada Food Guide and I ask questions and we learn how it works, which is all good things, but the engagement wasn't always there. So Egg in the Classroom, we did this fun supervillain unit, and they got to compete against each other while learning about what healthy living is. So that's one great example. Just, we all know that kids learn best when they're engaged, but finding the time to like find those resources that are best sometimes is hard in our jobs. So for me, just being able to build relationships with other teachers and have those conversations, I think have benefited my students because I've gotten to use them this year.
Awesome. That's wonderful. So Tristan, how do you feel GAP has benefited you guys in the classroom, knowing that Miss Edwards is part of GAP this year?
And then another project I've enjoyed quite a bit from GAP is Superhuman in Health. And there are multiple like reasons to like it, such as you get to have groups and acquire like attribute cards. And then you get to like fight your rivals and steal points and instead of like learning just from the Canadian Food Guide.
Well, thank you so much, you guys, for spending a little bit of your afternoon with me and talking about your experiences with GAP this year. Sounds like you've been able to implement a lot of the things that you've been able to share with other teachers. So thanks so much.
Thanks, Breen.
I'm Lipke. I'm the grade 5-6 teacher here at Keniston School.
And I'm Tara Rink. I'm a parent in the school. I have a daughter that is in Shannon's
Mike,
class.
if you could play
I want to
our
know
second
how
video.
GAP
It is called the PE final.
I'm Lipke. I'm the grade 5-6 teacher here at Keniston School.
And I'm Tara Rink. I'm a parent in the school. I have a daughter that is in Shannon's class.
I want to know how GAP supported the infusion of parent engagement and how it has affected the students' overall engagement in your classroom, Shannon.
Sure. The GAP opportunity has allowed me time to plan out projects with parent engagement fully in the forefront of my mind. The most recent project I did was an Indigenous perspective project. And within that, I was thinking about, okay, how can I involve my parents with this? And the first part of it was we did a family tree, which then we invited our parents in for our finale at our project. And you could just see the pride in the kids as their parents were sitting there watching their presentations and all the hard work they had put into the project. So I truly feel like parent engagement is it's essential for a great classroom. It helps with classroom management. It helps with just overall expectations of your students and just builds really great relationships.
It was a really nice opportunity for us to be engaged and for there to be good communication and then to be invited back into the classroom to see how this all came together.
Yeah, I think the project was super successful, and I do strive to at least once a year have parents come in to see what the kids are doing in their classroom. We spend a lot of hours with them in a day, and it's just awesome to see just their pride and their happiness to have their parents come into the classroom and see what they're working hard on. So I think parent engagement is really critical.
It is critical. And I think too, where in terms of the family history and even this PowerPlay project that you're working on too, when we're able to bring it home, obviously there's usually connections, right? And I think everybody's always looking for strings of connection, and that makes the education more relevant. It makes parents feel safer, right? To be within the classroom and to be in that space. But it gives children pride and engagement in their learning when their parents are on board as well.
Yeah. To be looking for different activities and be thinking about all the parts that we should be infusing into projects. No, I really think that allowing me to have that extra time was excellent. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there was just so many pieces that came together as it was evolving, and talking to different people within our GAP. I don't know if community is the right word, committee, I don't know. Oh, you could try this or you could try that. So it was awesome to be able to talk to different grade 5 teachers or other teachers in the division and giving me suggestions. So no, it was It was awesome. It was super exciting to come to school. That project was awesome.
We would love to have you actively involved and have you share your expertise with us. We'll be live and in person at the April 26th STC meeting in Rosetown. This will provide an opportunity for you to ask any questions you have and dive deeper into a discussion about GAP. Here are some questions to ponder when coming to the meeting. Are there experts in your communities that students would benefit to learn from? Are there field trips or virtual experiences that would enrich your child's learning? Are there guest speakers or resources you are aware of that the division could be utilizing? By combining your role as parents and our role as teachers, as partners in education, we are providing our students and children with the tools to achieve success, whatever path they may take in life.
Thank you for your time this evening. We hope to see you all on April 26th in Rosetown.
Thank you very much to the GAP team here this evening and the members behind the scenes. We certainly appreciate all the work you're doing to get this project up and running smoothly. The second priority of our education plan is engagement. SunWest is committed to improving engagement and motivation by personalizing learning environments and instruction and creating relationships. Our goal is to empower students to gain 21st century competencies such as collaboration and critical thinking, and we seek to create meaningful connections between students, their families, and the communities they live in. Parent engagement has been and continues to be an important factor in successful schools and student learning and well-being. It has been a key focus in our division and has led us to be involved in provincial initiatives meant to explore high-impact strategies that lead to an increased sense of belonging and connectedness for our students and our families. This evening, we are pleased to have Pam Swatsky and Jessica Wall speak about the Parent-Teacher Home Visit Project.
Good evening. Hold on. Sorry, guys. All right, good evening, everybody. My name is Pam Sawatsky, and I just want to make sure I've got the right thing here. Sorry. There we go. My name is Pam Sawatsky, and currently I am a kindergarten teacher and Pebble mentor at Westbury Elementary School in Kindersley. Last year, I was privileged to be in the role of learning consultant, and that position was focused on early years and engagement.
My name is Jessica Wall. Currently, I am a kindergarten teacher at Walter Asseltine School in Rosetown. Last year, I had the privilege of taking on the role of engagement coach. In this role, I focused on supporting our division with parent engagement.
So, as Vicki mentioned earlier, the Parent-Teacher Home Visit Initiative was made possible by funding from the Saskatchewan School Boards Association. The SSBA saw the emphasis on connection and relationship in the Provincial Education Plan framework and chose to address the pillar in one way through home visits. Included in the project, there is also a research component. Dr. James McNinch from the University of Regina conducted research investigating the impact of the project. Details on his findings from last year can be found on the SunWest website.
Our rural context in Saskatchewan is the perfect setting for the Parent-Teacher Home Visit Initiative. We have a long history of community education and have fostered strong partnerships with leaders in this work. Dr. Debbie Pusher and Kevin Cameron have been two important connections we've built in Saskatchewan and particularly in SunWest to help further our work in this area. Building connections through home visits is an evidence-based, high-impact practice that is relatively easy to implement. When we talk about parent engagement, we often hear the comparison of involvement versus engagement. While these two are different, both are crucial in fostering strong home and school relationships. Instead of thinking of these as a dichotomy, we want to think of these as a continuum from low impact on student achievement to high impact on student achievement, which you can see here on the screen. Our low impact opportunities create space for relationships to form and connections to be made. Our high impact opportunities focus more on the individual student and their growth. As you can see here on this continuum, home visits can be found on the high impact side. Evidence shows parent-teacher home visits have a strong impact on student achievement.
The model for the Saskatchewan initiative comes from the Parent-Teacher Home Visit Project based out of Sacramento, California. This organization has been in existence since 1990. Home visits using this model is now in 700 schools across the United States and now in Saskatchewan. They have provided us with training and a model to follow. The model consists of 2 visits in a year. The first focused on building relationships, and the second is also relational, but may have a more academic focus if desired.
So in this model, we have 5 non-negotiables that must be honored by all participants. First, visits are voluntary. This is both true for school staff and families. People join only if they want to. Second, all participating staff are trained and compensated. Everyone who has joined this year went through training with the team from Sacramento, and all our staff are compensated for their time. Next, the purpose of the visit is to learn from families. At this visit, we ask a family what their hopes, dreams, and goals are for their child. The fourth non-negotiable is that we do not target students. This is an open invitation, and we do not pick and choose who we ask to participate. Last, staff go in pairs. The main reason for this is so staff have a partner to reflect with and discuss how they might use their new knowledge in the classroom setting to better provide for that child.
Last year, SunWest was one of 5 school divisions in the province that piloted the Home Visit Initiative. At the time, SunWest had 2 participating schools and was able to do visits with 46 families. Even though we were hampered by COVID protocols, we managed to learn from each other and form deeper relationships between home and school. And Mike, could you please play our video?
I'm Katie Hopprish. I live in Kindersley, Saskatchewan, and my children attend the Westbury Elementary School. Well, last year, we want to be heavily involved in our kids' education and be a partner with the teachers. So I saw it as a good opportunity to meet the teacher and form that relationship with the teacher with a little more time rather than the quick emails or messages in our book back and forth. So the home visit was a good opportunity to form that relationship.
She said something like, yeah, like, what is your hope and dream, I think, for Cora going to school? And I was really excited about that question. Like, it made me kind of want to cry a little bit. I was just, I just hoped that she loved learning is what I had said my answer was. So I just hope that she develops a love for learning and love for school and likes going, so that it was like just a really positive experience.
Came out to the farm, they drove out to us and came in, and we sat around the table, and the very first thing that Caden did, which is typical of him because he's not allowed to do it at school, so he climbed right into his teacher's lap and cuddled with her, and then wanted to show her around, show the EA around, show them his Lego, show them his video games in his room and his stuffies, and everything else that he loves about his house. He wanted to show them the trampoline and his swings and his horses, everything. He just, for him, it was a way to show the teachers what mattered to him. You know, outside of school, when he's in that more pressurized environment, the things that made him tick and what made him excited. And so we talked about a lot of that. Talked about, you know, what he had taught, what he wants to do, and the things that excite him, and I think it gave them a better understanding of how to motivate him and the sorts of things that really get him going.
I think a lot of people look at teachers as a professional and not as a person, and they need to look at their classroom teacher as a person, as somebody walking on the street, and let them come in and see your child in their environment. It allows the teacher to be more personable at school and maybe give that kid some direction that they may not be able to have in the classroom otherwise. It allows the teacher to see them for who they are in their comfortable environment, not in a structured environment like at school.
Yeah, I think it's important for the teachers to even see the home life of a lot of the kids they're teaching. Maybe gives them different perspectives and different ways to approach that child in the classroom. Of course, it's a little difficult because, you know, I think me and you talked about this last time. When you know somebody's coming over, people can give that Facebook image to their house. They're going to show their best face forward. But I still think it's helpful, you know, if we're from a single family, or multi-families in the household, you know, that type of information I think can help a teacher connect to a child.
That was actually one of my favorite things about the home visits, was that the focus wasn't on Lachlan's academics, because he's not a strongly academic in the you know, traditional standard ways. And so being able to have him in a more casual environment, the teachers were able to see more of him as a whole person and not so much just the grades, or, you know, in the areas that they got to really see his interests and his personality quite a bit more directly than what you would see in a classroom, or even in like the parent-teacher conferences during the school year. Yeah, I joined the SCC in 2019, right before COVID hit, so I felt a little lost for a lot of my beginning time on the SCC. But when Kim approached us at one of our meetings about helping us be that bridge to the community and the other families and say, you know, this isn't, you know, the school trying to spy on you or any of those kind of silly things that were out about the program. So we were asked to kind of make sure that people knew exactly what the program was about, because sometimes the communication is not clear between new programs coming out and families that are partaking in them. So we were encouraged to kind of, if anybody had questions about it, to kind of fill them in on what the program actually was for and the intention behind it. It's really easy to misunderstand and get wrong information and make a leap to conclusions or make a misjudgment. And we understand, because a lot of us have connections to the staff and had good, positive school experiences as ourselves as students, that the staff really cares about each student individually, and it's important that the families understand that there's support there for the students and for the families as a whole. And I think that's part of the strength of this program, is that it gives the families an opportunity to meet the staff and understand that they have the students' best intentions at heart, and they want everyone to succeed, and understanding the family as a whole sometimes makes that job easier.
All right, so we were very, very excited when we learned that the SSBA was able to provide more funding to carry on the project for a second year. And happily, we have added another school to the project. We added Walter Asseltine this past March. So staff has just finished up the first round of visits. And once again, Dr. James McNinch will be carrying out research on the impact of home visits. All right, and thank you to the SCCs that volunteered some time to be interviewed, and the parents that were part of our video. And we would invite the SCCs that are watching tonight, as well as other members of the community, to consider how you might be able to support the Parent-Teacher Home Visit Initiative if it is in your school. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks so much, Pam and Jess. We appreciate you being here tonight, and also the work that you're doing in your schools leading the second round of visits. We appreciate that very much. Today's knowledge and digital reality means that change now occurs at an astronomical rate. This reality requires our students and staff to have additional competencies and skills. SunWest works hard to infuse 21st century learning skills into all curricula and into the development of educational programming. This may include focusing on skills such as creativity, innovation, and entrepreneurship to help enhance student engagement and learning. Learning consultant Corinne McJanet is here this evening to talk about PowerPlay, a program that lends itself very nicely to 21st century learning and has been creating a lot of buzz around the division lately. I will turn it over to Corinne to tell us a little bit more about PowerPlay.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Corinne McJanet, and I'm here to talk about PowerPlay. I'm just gonna figure out how to share my screen here. Sorry, having some difficulties. Sorry, everybody. Okay. Mike, can we go to the next one? I have my PowerPoint up, but I can't share my screen.
Thanks, Corinne. We'll see if you can get that fixed up and we'll come back to you. Our third educational plan priority is mental health and well-being. The mental and physical health and safety of SunWest students is essential to their learning and development. SunWest strives to provide inclusive and safe learning environments that foster well-being and promote positive mental, physical, and emotional wellness. This evening, Supervisor of Student Support Services, Megan Friedrich, will speak about mental health and wellness in SunWest School Division, and she'll be joined by Arlene Lowe, Principal of Loreburn School, who will speak about a special student-led mental wellness initiative involving land-based education.
Good evening, everybody. I'm here. My name is Megan, and I'm here tonight to speak to you about our mental wellness. It continues to be a strong area of concern and priority from SunWest School Division, and we have many goals and actions around this. We have a mental wellness committee that's dedicated to working on our actions that we've planned out. We have also done quite a few things, and I'm going to explain some of those to you here this evening. We've purchased Not Myself Today, which is a program that helps all of our staff, and they can use it personally and professionally as well to do training amongst themselves on PD days. But also, if you're at home and you needed some support or help, it's also a great way to get what you're needing there as well, and make sure that you're never alone and in need of something that you can't access. So it's a fantastic resource that we have for our staff. In regards to our students and our staff actually within our schools, we make sure that we have at least one staff trained per school in mental health first aid. And in many of our schools, that also means that we have more than one individual. So that's a great resource for our staff and our students. It's a way to make sure that our students are getting immediate support in our schools beyond our school counselors, who are not always able to be in our schools all the time. So it's a great way to make sure that that's taken care of. We also have training for all of our administration and our counselors in violent threat risk assessment, which is something that is a proactive way to ensure that all of our students' needs are being met. And in the cases of any behavior that's concerning or just needing some more attention, we make sure to wrap around with all of our community agencies and partners. We also use a lot of our Hope Learning Center resources for professional development days. And that's a partnership, or that's created through a Canadian Mental Health Association. So that's another great resource that we use in our schools. We have programming that is actually infused right into our school programs and plans, and some of that involves our pre-kindergarten. So we do our ages and stages questionnaires that help us to gather information about our families and our students, and it adds to all of the things that we know beyond academics, which is so important. We also have a lot of extracurricular opportunities that our counselors provide and our staff to our students, including Girl Power, addictions, education. We also have built-in programs that we do for our grade 5 students, our grade 6 students, our grade 8, grade 10, and grade 12. So these are all programs that we run through Liza Dahl, our education or addictions educator, pardon me, and she works with our schools to make sure that our students are getting this programming to ensure that they are knowledgeable and educated. Our student leadership group, as you saw, have their conferences, and a lot of their meetings incorporate aspects of mental wellness a lot. It's something that's very important to our students, and they've made that clear. As well, within our own school division, we continue to hire and employ and use very much our supervisor of mental health and addictions, who is Allison Bakich. As well, we have Elena Gilmet, who is our lead teacher with planning and carrying out of Mental Wellness 30, and all of our related initiatives that we have carried out with our RBC grant. So we really appreciate that. It allows us to do things that we probably otherwise couldn't always do. You've heard about our family engagement parent home visit program. We also purchase and use EverFi and GoZen. These are things, resources and programs that we have accessible to our counselors, and they can use those to assist our classroom teachers and our students to give them some consistent programming and training in areas and education, I guess, in areas to make sure that they are getting consistent messaging. So it's really helpful to everybody. Elena and her team have worked really hard this year, and they're continuing to promote Elena continues to promote her Mental Wellness 30 course, which she's created and used as part of a research project. So that's really exciting. We're going to hear more about that soon. We also have launched our Year of Wellness for K-2 in October of this last school year. January to June here, we are working on a Year of Wellness for grade 3 to 5. We have a group working on that. We've also revised our Year of Wellness for grade 6 to 9 and are relaunching that in September. We have our monthly wellness calendars, which have little tasks and activities for our classroom teachers and our students to participate in. And their participation then enters them into prize offerings, and we've had things like pizza parties and all this kind of stuff to encourage our students to be taking this seriously and to be looking at their own mental wellness on a regular basis. So we also have our Managing Your Mind workshops that are led through a combination of our DLC, Elena and her team. And we just had one on March 23rd, and it was amazing. We had Dr. Reg Lytle speak to us from the U of R. We had an OT present, and we also had one of our counselors, Carrie Feddick, present to our students and our staff, anyone actually. It was a public presentation, and you can just join online with a link and participate. And that's been a really awesome experience for everybody. We also have a school team that will be attending our Canadian Mental Health Association and RBC partnered Youth Summit on March 28th, which is today they went. That was in Regina. And we also have a team going from SunWest of staff and who will be participating in a panel at the Rural Congress they participated yesterday. So they were doing that. All things that we're doing to share the great things that SunWest is providing us. We still have a lot of work yet to do, and we are working on supporting Elena in publishing her results of her research paper and the work she's done with us with her mental wellness courses. And we're also going to finish up our Wellness 10 journal, and that's going to hopefully be out for us this fall, and that supplements our Wellness 10 courses that most of our grade 10s all do. We're also looking to do some partnering with SAS Girls United and get some female empowerment sessions going in person if we can, but online as well. So that would be great. We have many, many partnerships that allow us to do the work that we do here in SunWest. Our student services people and our counselors are working constantly with Sask Health. They work with social services, RCMP. We were working with Saskatoon when possible. We also try to maintain and really sustain a relationship with Kevin Cameron and his work through CTIP, and that's where they're sending us out alerts. They'll be also offering us advice in really crucial circumstances and situations that can be quite complex. And so that's something we feel is really valuable to help us do the work we do, and it supports our violent threat risk assessment process and protocols. We also work with CMHA Saskatchewan and our Rosetown branch especially. We work with Crystal Story through Sask Health. She works for Population Health. We sometimes need to get the advice and work with the Children's Advocate as well. We work very closely with the Sunwest Distance Learning Center, and we have a strong partnership with our Royal Bank of Canada. We've been offered a grant through them, and so we have to manage that and report back to them, which has allowed us to bring Rob Nash to our school division. We've had many wellness challenges. We've had some initiatives that I'll be speaking about in a few minutes here. We've also had some partnerships with Chief Darcy Bear, Whitecap, lots of different things that we're able to do through that grant. So I just wanted to promote again our Managing Your Mind and just let you kind of see who Dr. Reg Lido was. We usually send out these posters and we'll publish them, and that's what it would look like on our website. You can click those links and anyone can join. It's a public event. So I also wanted to speak a little bit more about our student-led mental wellness initiatives that we've had in our schools. Through the RBC grant, we've been able to have schools apply to get up to $1,000 in order to promote a student-led mental wellness initiative in their community. So we've also been able to have schools partner with different communities, and they can work together. So some of the things that have already been done, you're going to hear about what's happening in Loreburn here right away. We've also had some interesting things happening in Davidson where we're promoting leadership, bringing in facilitators. In Bigger Central School, we've had lunch and learn sessions for students and parents, offered student leadership opportunities. We've brought in guest speakers. Aston and Kyle have worked together to bring in a speaker, Sam Dema, and then do some workshops with students as well. Outlook has done some positive mindset, created a movable mural. Dinsmore and Kindersley communities have worked together to bring in a dog sledding team who talk about land-based education. And again, that all relates to our physical wellness, our spiritual wellness, getting out in nature, encouraging our students to do things that are really physical and active. Dr. Reg Lido from Managing Your Mind spoke about this for about an hour, the importance of making sure we're looking at all aspects of our mental health and our physical, social, emotional health, all adds up to make sure that we're doing things that are healthy for our bodies. So it's not always just about our thoughts. We're not done just yet, though. So this opportunity is still open to schools. If it's something that you're interested in doing, our deadline is April 15th. So if that's something that looks interesting to you, you can always contact myself or Elena Gilmet, and we can help you out with getting that working for your school. And at this point, I'd like to now introduce you all to Arlene Lowe, who is our principal of Loreburn Central School, and she's going to be sharing with us how her school has used their RBC grant money. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much, Megan, for that fantastic opening to the reason why I'm able to share here today. So a huge thank you to Sunwest and RBC for allowing our students to take on the initiative that they have at our school happening right now. So we're calling it the Wilderness Wellness Initiative. And a little bit of background on where this idea came from. Our school has two goals that we're focusing on this year, one on student engagement and the other on achievement. So at Loreburn Central School, we are small but mighty. However, that also means that many of our high school students take 1 to 3 distance learning classes in a day, which albeit, teaches them fantastic time management skills and, no time for procrastination, all sorts of life skills. However, what happens is they often then, miss the opportunity to interact collaboratively with each other because they're focused on their studies. Another thing that happens at our school is we review our school data, and it is showing, as it is in many of our schools, that there's higher levels of anxiety and depression. And research does show that taking time to be outside and connect with nature will help improve, how we're feeling each day. So we're looking for ways also to connect beyond the four walls of our school, because our school is located in a very beautiful part of the province. I purposely chose the image that you see there. This is a picture of Elbow, which many of our students live there, which is right next to the Elbow Marina and, of course, Lake Diefenbaker. So with that, we're looking for ways that we can maybe, improve our mental health and mental wellness, and also create an opportunity for our students to connect with each other. So we set to developing a survey. We surveyed the students on 10 different questions, just looking for their voice and opinions on how we can improve the engagement for them. I just chose the one question that pertains to the reason why we chose to move ahead with this initiative. So we asked the students, if they would enjoy land-based opportunities throughout the school. Now, thankfully, we already have sets of snowshoes and cross-country skis that are available for our students to use, during lunchtime, recess, during their phys ed classes. But they were also asking for things beyond that. What can we do that's beyond the school walls? And so there was obviously a huge interest in this idea. So with that, we thought, okay, what can we do? And the students listed off a whole bunch of different ideas of small adventures that we could do right out our backyard because we live in such a wonderful part of the province. So thinking of all the connections that I've made of why we were looking to look for opportunities, we came up with the plan. So we applied to this grant to carry through with the activities that you see on the right-hand side of the screen. So in February, we wanted to do the sunrise breakfast, and March, they've been asking to go ice fishing for a long time. In April, a hike at South Beach, which is a part of Lake Diefenbaker that's often unexplored. May would be exploring the Sand Hills, which are right next to Douglas Park. And then we have an annual 5K hike run that goes along the Trans-Canada Trail. So these are some of the activities that the students have done in the past, have been asking to do in the past, or some new ideas that they were looking to explore. And so with the grant money, we have started on our outdoor adventures, and I cannot tell you enough how it has created the most amazing, memorable experience for not only our students, but for our school community. Now we'll start with the sunrise breakfast. Sunrise breakfast is just that. It is hiking out to a pasture. In this case, one of our SCC members and students, the Griffins, offered to have host the sunrise breakfast. So we all piled all of our things into sleds, and you can see the top right pictures us hiking out to where the students chose, where is going to be the best place for our fire. To cook our breakfast. It was a little hazy that day, but the sun was definitely coming up. It was a beautiful morning. And when I interviewed a few of the students, I love the one here, Jordan, one of our grade 12 students, she says, we enjoyed bonding together outside of school, even though it was still school. And it was absolutely amazing to see them work together. And there wasn't really a plan in advance. It wasn't like, okay, you're going to make the fire and you're going to cook the whatever. It was just like, let's go and work, enjoy the time together. And it was truly amazing, the natural leadership that these students have shown. A couple other pictures. I love this one on the left. It started to snow, like magical chunky snow, and these boys just went into the forest, chopped down the tree that they needed, and they were, set ready to make the fire. And then we, some of us are sitting around, some of us made hot chocolate and coffee and just visiting and, giving them pointers, of course, and just having a really nice time connecting with each other. The team on the left was getting our bannock ready. We've got some master bannock makers in our school, so they got right to it. You can see how they were pretty inventive with how they used the wood to make sure that there was stands for our little cooking crate there. Fried eggs are not easy to cook, but there were some master egg cookers for sure. We all ate, we all cleaned up, and everybody had a role. And we were all back to school by third period, ready to learn with, our bellies full. And of course, you need a group picture of the event. I must also add that we had some EAL students who had just joined us from Afghanistan, so this adventure was very new to them, and there were some coyotes that were, speaking to us in the distance, and they were pretty excited by that. Our second event happened more recently, which was ice fishing. The students of Lorburn have been asking to go ice fishing for many years, and so thanks to SunWest, there's a new policy that has been created so that it allows us to do this safely. It was a bit of a windy, cold day. The weather, when you're planning outdoor events, you just have to prepare for anything. So thankfully, we had some community members and SCC members that had some ice shacks for us. And it was, again, such an amazing experience. You see everybody is smiling. They were reminiscing and, sharing stories. Remember when they, had the Uno cards out, which helped some of our English language learners learn some English while they're waiting, very patiently for fish. Unfortunately, we only caught one fish, so we did learn how to fillet the one fish, and we did have to start a fire. That was tricky too because of the wind. And the students even brought crazy carpets, and we're doing some, sledding down the way on the sides just to, pass the time and had fun together. And that laughter alone, watching them slide and, wipe out and slam into each other, and everyone's just laughing. It was, was so great to see. And we are definitely looking forward to the next events that are coming up. We are working with local community members who work at our province. We have 2 provincial parks who are skilled in hiking, so that we can learn more about the natural medicines that are offered in our prairie. So that is going to be the focus when we are heading out to the 2 next hikes on South Beach, as well as the Sand Hills, and then our wellness plan with our 5K hike walk that will happen along the Trans-Canada Trail. So on behalf of the students and community of Lorburn Central School, we are very, very thankful for the opportunity that this grant has provided us. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Megan and Arlene. And thank you, Arlene, for sharing all those wonderful pictures. It just looks like the kids had a fantastic time. The mental health and well-being of both staff and students will continue to be an important focus for us as we finish off this year and we plan for the next. We thank Megan and Arlene and our school staff and division personnel for all they've been doing to reduce stigma, further education, and provide the important support that is needed to keep our young people healthy and happy. I think right now we're going to check back with Corrine and see if we were able to get our technical difficulties sorted out, and hopefully we'll be able to hear about PowerPlay.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Arlene and Megan, for being so flexible, and Vicki and Mike for switching me out when I was having difficulties there. So yeah, I'm Corrine McJanet. I'm a learning consultant with SunWest and part-time colony supervisor. And I get to talk about PowerPlay. It's a program that came to the division last year as a pilot, and it's only grown and taken on a whole new life of its own. And I think a whole bunch of our students and teachers have all benefited from it. Okay, did you ever have a lemonade stand as a kid, or cut grass, or shovel sidewalks? Did you ever have any hidden talents or hobbies or passions? Or sometimes right now, do you watch Dragon's Den as an adult and you think, I had that idea once, or I remember when I made? That is what PowerPlay is about. So PowerPlay was created by Bill Roche, and it's a highly engaging program that is designed for classrooms ranging from grades 4 to 8. And students have fun exploring their passions, their talents, and interests as they plan and carry out their own business ventures. They make real products and they earn real money, and then they also learn about charities and donating to causes that they care about. So let's see what this looked like in SunWest. So the first thing we had to do was the consultants had to align the PowerPlay program with Saskatchewan outcomes and make sure that there was a fit and find all the ways that it matched up with our curriculum. So as you can see, there's a whole bunch of 21st century competencies that it aligned with. It matched up with all of them. But in each grade, it met math outcomes, English outcomes, science outcomes, health outcomes. So it was a really good fit for any of those grades. The other thing that was really great about PowerPlay was its flexibility in pace. It is supposed to be a 6-week program, but it has the ability to be stretched out a little bit longer or done a little bit quicker if it needs to be. And time of year doesn't matter. It can be done in the fall, it can be done in the spring. And the other flexibility piece about it is the focus. If you're a teacher and you're really focused on charities and you really want to focus on the social part of the program, you can do that because it's very flexible. Then there's lots of opportunities to enhance or grow their skills. So there are opportunities with PowerPlay to have after school programs. You're going to hear about some innovation days that we had, and lots of our schools have done this program with the same group of kids 2 years in a row. And it's great because you just see the growth and the knowledge and how they implement all those wonderful things they learned to make their next experience with the program even better. So the other thing about this program is we had students online participate. We had colony students participate. We had just one grade level participate, and then we had classrooms that were made of multi-grades. So it suited lots of different environments. So I'm going to focus a little bit on the 21st century competencies. There are so many wonderful stories that I can share with you, but because I only have a short time to share with you, I just picked out a couple experiences and opportunities that students had that really stood out for me. So GAP really connects with our 21st century citizens. It really connects with the curriculum. And as we look back at all those things that our GAP teachers were talking about, it infuses all of those other wonderful elements that are really important to our learners these days. So I'm going to focus a little bit on our 21st century skills. So just some of the skills that the program aligns with are character, creativity, critical thinking, collaborating. So I want to talk about this young man. So this young man is from Rossville, and I think that this is like a true example of how it exhibited his character and also helped build on it. He was new to Rossville School, and in order to do the program, you're supposed to take a loan from your parents. I did have some schools that the schools helped the students with loans. He really didn't want to take a loan from his parents though. So what he did was he went out and he shoveled sidewalks to earn the money to then buy the products or to buy the materials to make his products. So he made little prints, Christmas prints, and he also made these claws, and everything in his business plan was about being kind to people and being welcoming and making sure that you were really inviting to those people that you were selling to and just a smile. And I just thought it was a wonderful story. Other character building things or self-confidence pieces, we had lots of students who participated in this program, and you know, they wouldn't be those students that would normally speak or talk in front of a crowd. And by the time they'd created their product, they were so excited and they were able to speak in front of crowds, and they were able to sell their product and say hi to people and do you want to hear about my product? So it was just a wonderful character building piece, self-confidence piece. So the other part of GAP, or an infusion piece, and Pam and Jess spoke to this as well, is parent engagement, which is really important here in SunWest. And a really great parent engagement story. So the young lady that you see in this picture, her dad stood beside her while she sold her her product, just beaming with pride in how well his daughter was doing. They were the cutest little gnomes ever. I wasn't able to buy one because they got soaked up so fast, but they were really wonderful. But my other parent engagement story is a student who was based out of Etonia. They spent so much time working on their product, except for it wasn't just at their house that they worked on their product. Their grandparents actually had some of the materials that they needed in order to make wind chimes. And mom and dad would have to call this student like, it's after supper, it's time to come home. And so that whole family was engaged, including the student's grandparents, to help her make that product. So it's just a really good parent engagement, community engagement piece. So some of you may have heard about PowerPlay. So I just want to let you know that we actually had 15 schools participate this year and 24 teachers and approximately 433 students that all participated in the PowerPlay Young Entrepreneurs program this year. SunWest was also able to hold 3 innovation days where we celebrated entrepreneurship and creativity. These innovation days happened between February 13th and 15th. Sorry for the typo. Students met in Kindersley and in Rosetown and in Kenaston on 3 separate days. And the students who came were challenged to create their own design concepts that addressed real world issues and would have a real positive social impact. We had Community Futures come in, and we had 60 volunteers who all supported these events by having approximately 60 volunteers, and they worked hand in hand with our students and helped them build out these business plans. And then the students actually presented their business plans to judges and to whole crowds of people. So this is just one picture of our Innovation Day at Kenaston. And in Kenaston, between volunteers and teachers and students, we had 160 people in that building. And we had students from grade 4, 5, and 6 that all stood up in front of that crowd and presented their business ideas with self-confidence, beaming with pride, and so excited to be part of those days. So the other thing is about PowerPlay is it also, beyond GAP and doing cross-curricular and hitting all those good 21st century skills, it really, really aligns with our Pebble philosophy here in SunWest. It is personalized learning. We meet students where they're at. It allows them to focus on their own interests and passions. It encourages them to have growth mindset and grit and self-confidence, helps build their character, and it offers opportunities for everyone to flourish and succeed.
Thank you so much, Kareen. That was just great. And yes, Kareen, I am one of those people who are still trying to figure out how to get on Shark Tank or Dragon's Den, but it looks like there's some students that I might be able to talk to now to get some ideas. So thank you for that. It was wonderful. To bring our evening to a close, we're very pleased to have 2 video presentations that highlight some of the work that's being done by our SCCs. Angela Sparks from Bigger Central School 2000 and Caitlin Gibbons from Westbury Elementary School have put together these special presentations for you.
Good evening. My name is Angela Sparks, and I'm one of the vice principals at Bigger Central School 2000. It's my privilege just to share with you tonight a few of the fun and exciting things that have been happening this year at Bigger Central School. So we've done a lot of collaborating. We have our SEC to thank, and we've also enjoyed a grant from the Canadian Playful Schools Network that's allowed us to expand some of the offerings we've had for students this year. So in January, we had our community come out to the Sandra Schmerler Park for a story walk. This was a great collaboration with the town of Bigger Family Center, and with our school community council. We had a roaring bonfire and families gathered around to visit with each other and enjoy a story as they walked around the park. We had a lot of families brave a very cold and wintry day, and we were just thrilled with the success of that project. As you can see, we even had some furry friends come out, and everything is better with hot chocolate. Another activity that is ongoing right now at our school is called One School, One Book. And this activity was a collaboration between a staff team and an SCC team that came together to provide an opportunity for every family in our elementary school to receive the book, A Boy Called Bat. It's a wonderful book that celebrates diversity and awareness that we all learn in different ways. And we've had a lot of fun with this project. Our SCC helped us kick it off by a fabulous breakfast. All of our elementary students were together in the Woodrow Lloyd Gym for breakfast and to listen to Karen Ederman read the first chapter of the book to whet our appetites. And you can see we've got a bulletin board here in the school that we're updating throughout the project. And there's activities that families can do at home and then send pictures of what they're doing. So we've had a tremendous response for the very first activity, which was a family selfie challenge. So the kids are always checking the bulletin board to see what's going on with the book and to see pictures of them and their family reading. Our librarian developed some awesome posters to promote those projects that go onto our social media and onto the bulletin board. So you can see here the selfie challenge and just a launch poster getting the students excited about the beginning of the project and the prizes that we'll be giving away at the end. The next project that we been working on all year, but just came to fruition in March, was our Winter Festival. This was a really meaningful project that we had support from our SCC and also the Canadian Playful Schools Network. This was a grant that we received that we feel just complements beautifully our Pebble philosophy. And our Winter Festival, we had some help from our knowledge holder, Marcella Bird, from Red Pheasant First Nation to help us create this logo and to learn this meaningful word. So the word that you see here on the medicine wheel is Tuwatahikan. And what it means is to blaze a new trail. So you can see here, we have our grade 7 student, Yavenia, who created this in collaboration with Marcella. And of course, we take very much to heart our identity as Blazers. That is our school logo. And so when we thought about our goals for this Winter Festival, we wanted to create connections with our neighbors around us and the Indigenous communities around us. And we wanted to create a new pathway of learning. So we felt that it was really meaningful, this word that Marcella helped us to come up with that means to blaze a new trail. That's really what we had in mind. Our SCC has been with us every step of the way on this grant project, cheering us on and encouraging us in any way that they can. And this is the team, the Playful Schools grant team from BCS that worked with the students. This became really a community affair, and our local Prairie Center Credit Union not only donated monetarily to help with the festival, but they also sent volunteers to be with us for the whole day. We definitely had partners from the division office out to help us, as well as some neighboring students and teachers come to be a part of the festival. And you can see our showcase at the school that just celebrates our treaty flag, our Métis flag, and the Twentian Festival logo. A big highlight of the festival was the dog sleds. We had an absolute blast with Charlie Connors and the dog sleds that he brought out. We loved the parent and SCC collaboration that happened with the festival. Some parents very generously donated their time to share their expertise with our students. So this is Brian Smith, a Métis artisan and a BCS parent, teaching students about beading. We also had BCS parent Alicia Germs talk about traditional Indigenous methods of tanning. We've got some students playing some games in the gym as well. Relationships were a huge part of the day. Each group of students was in a team that had an animal mascot that held significance to the Cree culture. So here we've got some snowshoeing going on with one of the teams, and a closing circle that we had at the end of the day. Hospitality is a big part of winter festivals, and we really wanted to honor that spirit of the day. And so we had some donations of some wild meat, and our students took leadership in hospitality to prepare this stew, as well as local Métis business Bigger Bites Catering provided the awesome bannock for us that day. Our SEC footed the bill for all the food, just very generously making it possible. I also wanted to highlight some of the awesome work that's happening with my colleague in the high school end at BCS. We've had just an awesome, exciting time getting ready for the Game of Life. So this will be happening actually today with our students. So I don't have any new pictures yet, but Ms. Chupik's been working so hard, and our SEC has really been behind her in bringing the Game of Life, and also some financial literacy activities for our students. And so that will span grades 7 to 12. So lots of fun things happening at BCS, and we couldn't be more proud of our students, the leadership that they've shown, and the learning that they've had. And we just want to thank our SEC for everything that they've done to walk alongside us in this process.
Hello, everyone. My name is Caitlin Gibbons, and I am the Vice Principal at Westbury Elementary School in Kindersley. Tonight, I have the pleasure of sharing some of the activities our school has organized to promote parent engagement. We work closely with our school community council to plan events throughout the year that welcome families into the school. Before the first day of school, our SCC hosts a back-to-school barbecue and meet the teacher night. We find that students feel more comfortable coming into school on the first day when they have had a chance to meet their teacher and see their classrooms with their families. This January, we were eager to welcome families back into our building for our annual pancake breakfast. It was great to see our gym full of families again. We are very grateful to the Kindersley Junior Clippers who helped to serve food at these two events. This frees up Westbury staff to connect with families. Both of these events would not be possible without their help. During the pandemic, we had to find ways to connect with families remotely. Our SEC began to host online bingo games as a way for families to have some fun together at home. We had such positive feedback from these events that we have continued with them. Thanks to generous donations from our local community, we have expanded this event into a successful raffle prize fundraiser. This January, we invited grade 1 students and their families to our literacy workshop. We let parents know how students were progressing in the classroom and introduced some reading strategies that families can do together at home. This event has improved communication with families about reading. At Westbury, we have an engagement committee that is made up of teachers, EAs, admin, and parents. We are always trying to extend parent involvement so that parents can be truly engaged in their children's education. This year, we have started family challenges. Our first challenge was organized by a father who is a member of the Kindersley Fire Department. He and his daughters challenged our students to create fire escape plans with their families. Of all those who completed the challenge, we drew the name of one lucky family that got to take a ride on a fire truck to go get ice cream. Our upcoming family challenge will focus on responsible pet ownership and cultural traditions. We're excited to continue learning from our community. Finally, Westbury is participating in the Parent-Teacher Home Visit Initiative. 24 of our staff members have received training, and so far this month we have participated in 10 home visits with Westbury families. We're grateful for this opportunity to get to know our students and their families better.
Thank you so much, Angela and Caitlin, for putting those presentations together. It's just absolutely gratifying to see how schools, parents, SCCs, and communities are working together for our kids. A wonderful job there. And I know that out throughout the division, there's lots of great projects going on in all of your schools. I encourage you, when you have those events, let Mike Fedek know, and he'd be more than happy to put a story together for you and get it out on the website, and he gets it out on social media. I think these stories are motivating and inspiring for all of us, and they're often the catalyst for school communities to try new things. Well, this now brings us to the end of our evening. Thank you so very much for joining us. I hope you found this time meaningful and valuable. A special thank you again to all of our presenters for being here this evening and the work you put into the presentations, and to the members of our Board of Education for attending, and for all they do for us and how they support us with all of the initiatives you've seen tonight, like PowerPlay and the GAP initiative. We appreciate all the investment that you have in us in allowing us to do better things for our kids. And finally, a big thank you to Mike Fedek for organizing and running the meeting for us this evening. We couldn't do it without you, Mike. And as always, your work is very much appreciated. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you at the SCC workshop on April 26th. Take care and good night.